A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a bold display of unity, leaders from 4 major European nations have issued a strong ultimatum to Russian President Vladimir Putin, demanding an unconditional 30-day ceasefire in Ukraine. This proposal, presented on Saturday, comes as part of a concerted effort to bolster support for Ukraine and its ongoing conflict with Russia. French President Emmanuel Macron, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, and Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk collectively called for the ceasefire to commence on Monday, with backing from U.S. President Donald Trump, who was briefed earlier in the day. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov acknowledged the proposal but emphasized that Moscow would need time to consider it. Peskov also reiterated Russia's stance of being open to peace talks without preconditions, while accusing Ukraine of obstructing such discussions. The backdrop of this diplomatic push is the expiration of Russia's own 3-day unilateral ceasefire, which Ukraine claims was repeatedly violated by Russian forces. The United States had previously suggested a limited ceasefire back in March, which Ukraine accepted, but Russia has been hesitant to agree to terms that do not favor its interests. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, alongside the European leaders, described their meeting as a critical signal of solidarity. In a joint statement, they outlined that the ceasefire must be unconditional, warning that any conditions set by Russia would only serve to prolong the conflict. Macron emphasized the role of the U.S. in monitoring the ceasefire, stating that massive sanctions were on standby should Russia choose to ignore the agreement. The visit to Kiev by these leaders coincided with a memorial ceremony marking the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II, where they honored the sacrifices of fallen Ukrainian soldiers. As the leaders pushed for an end to hostilities, they also discussed enhancing Ukraine's military capabilities, which they believe is essential for deterring further Russian aggression. The situation on the ground remains dire, with reports of continued Russian shelling resulting in civilian casualties in regions like Sumy and Kherson. The U.S. Embassy in Kiev has warned of potential significant Russian air attacks in the coming days, raising concerns about the safety of civilians amidst ongoing military operations. Despite the challenges, the European leaders remain committed to finding a resolution, with discussions of security guarantees for Ukraine and the possibility of deploying foreign troops as a reassurance measure. However, the specter of past failures looms large, as previous diplomatic efforts have yielded little progress. The leaders' hope is that by presenting a united front, they can compel Russia to engage in meaningful negotiations. The stakes are high, and the need for a resolution has never been more urgent as the conflict continues to escalate, threatening regional stability and security. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.